The global consensus among the world's elites is that electric cars are the future, and everywhere we see the governments of major countries promising to mandate and force the markets to produce higher levels of electric cars with the intent to completely phase out fossil fuels over time. Well, those self imposed deadlines are fast approaching, meaning that car companies are now scrambling to create new electric powered fleets to replace their old gas powered ones. But can they actually do that? A lot of us out here, including myself, have some serious doubts that they can really pull it off. First off, electric cars are more expensive to produce and thereby more expensive to buy as well. As of July 2022, the average price of an electric vehicle was about $18,000 more than the average price of a gas powered vehicle. And this more expensive electric car, on average, only lasts about 10 years until the battery dies, which will end up in a landfill somewhere, and getting a replacement battery will total the car out. So you'll be needing to buy a new, more expensive car every 10 years. And good luck buying a used one, considering you're on borrowed time until that battery gives up the ghost as well. Keep in mind that the average age of cars on the road as of 2022 is 12.2 years. Well, that's going to go away if we adopt all electric cars. Batteries also suffer from some pretty serious physical limitations. First is the range. The average gas-powered vehicle has a range of 413 miles, whereas the average electric car has a range of 217 miles. And batteries don't perform well in the cold either. The range goes significantly down in the cold, as Tyler Hoovey found out with his Ford Lightning. The range was almost cut in half on a 37-degree day. But wait, there's more. The range on that same Ford went down more than half when towing a pretty light load. This brings up the serious question of how will these vehicles perform in the real world when people need to tow stuff in the cold weather? As Rich Rebuild always says, electric cars are delivered on diesel trucks. And then there's the issue of charging. With gas-powered cars, when you need to refill, you simply find one of the ever-abundant gas stations and 3 minutes later you have a full tank. But electric cars need an enormous amount of time to charge. Using a level 1 charger would take you up to 12 hours to charge your car. Using a level 2 charger on the most up-to-date version of the Tesla, for example, would take you 6.5 hours. And using a level 3 charger gets that number up to 15 to 25 minutes. So we're still a long way off from being anywhere near as competitive as fossil fuel. And if you still think that electricity will be cheaper than gas once everybody is driving electric cars, you'll be sorely mistaken. And then there's the issue of limited charging stations. Not only are electric cars limited on how far they can go, but we simply lack the infrastructure to support as many cars as the government would like there to be. And what happens when you run out of juice? Can you hitch a ride to a gas station, fill up a gas can, and come back and revive your car? No. You'll need it towed to a charging station, where you'll spend the next 45 minutes waiting for it to charge. And I'm assuming tow trucks are going to have to be electric as well, so you better hope it's not on a cold day, for both your sakes. And where does all this electricity come from? The electric trees? From solar? Wind energy? No. The vast majority of electricity on the grid comes from fossil fuels. So how exactly clean are these cars? And wait, doesn't the US already have an energy crisis, you might be asking yourself? Yes it does. We routinely experience rolling blackouts in American cities already. As huge amounts of illegals pour into our country and our population soars, our grid has become very unstable. Has anyone explained how exactly energy production will go up to provide for the tens of millions of new electric cars that will all be drawing off of that power? Nuclear would be our best option, but, has the word nuclear in it, so it's off limits because people are retarded. Right now, our energy is mostly used during peak hours, but electric cars will mean that people are plugging in their cars for the night and charging them, meaning that we will have a constant 24/7 drain on the grid. I haven't even mentioned how these cars are made yet, but it's hardly environmentally friendly. A lithium battery mine tears up the environment far worse than some oil rig out in the Gulf currently does. And good luck servicing these cars on your own. Working on them is a nightmare. And with a company like Tesla, the software that runs the car is proprietary to Tesla. And you simply cannot diagnose what is wrong with those cars unless you have the right code readers that basically only the dealers have access to, meaning that the standard mechanic shop won't be able to fix your car either. Only the dealership. So the average cost of repairs will skyrocket. Each one of these issues that I've brought up are enough to hinder the government in its goal, but all of these issues together make it nothing more than a dangerous fantasy, which gets me to my next point. What if EVs don't pan out the way that the government wants them to? Car companies won't survive and will go bankrupt and will need yet another bailout. The used car market will take a huge hit because you won't have a steady supply of cheap, reliable, gas-powered vehicles that are constantly being bought and sold and introduced into the used market. This orgasmic obsession with climate change is going to ruin us. To keep the current standard of living, you simply cannot quit fossil fuels cold turkey. That doesn't make me a shill for big oil to say that. That's just reality. And it's scary to think about what will happen when we abandon it for some utopian vision that politicians push for, and they have the same understanding about this topic as they do guns, and they get everything wrong about guns. So this is the problem with electric cars as I see it. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments and I'll pin the best one. This is a short video, but that's all the time I have for today. So if you enjoyed this video and type of content I'm making, consider giving this video a like or maybe subscribing. I have a Buy Me a Coffee linked in the description if you want to support me. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.